Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Anarian Plays. Uh, Today we're going to go through the second completed franchise zoo. I have 3 total franchise zoos. I've only completed 2 of them because one of them is probably never going to be complete due to hardware limitations. However, this is the second one. It is an Amazon-based zoo, and it provided some unique challenges thanks to the entrance here only having one way in, like one path and all of that. So, also, this zoo kind of evolved over time. Originally, I was going to have it uh, as only South and Central American animals, and that plan changed when I realized how few of those there actually are. So we'll see the other animals that were added in once we're a little further into the zoo. Um, but right here at the entrance, we've got just this nice little kind of lightly wooded area here. I really liked the yellow ipe trees as a nice little side item. We've also got our information stands here. I actually added a second entrance into this zoo, but that'll be the last place we see. Um, Then first animal here, we have our Baird's tapir. Just right over here. It's a fairly simple habitat. I was mostly trying to play for time, and I'll probably come back in and maybe add a little more of the smaller plants in here and there, but then again, I'm also kind of eager to get going on Sandbox mode, so we'll see if I actually bother with that. But something that was really cool that I enjoyed making was this area here, particularly the waterfall portion, as that is pretty awesome and big. The original idea was that you'd be able to see this set of waterfalls no matter where you were in the park. Unfortunately, foliage says otherwise, but you can still see it from a couple of different vantage points, which is nice. Yeah, so this is just a waterfall right at the entrance, and I really enjoyed making this as well as all of the areas that it goes towards. I carved out a river along most of this section, most of the South American section of the zoo. We've got up here we have 2 things. We have our llama habitat, which is a nice walkthrough. And then we also have just out here the first 4 of our exhibit species. We've got our green anacondas that need to have some of their numbers released. We've got our boa constrictors, which I see one of them at least. We've got our red-eyed tree frogs, which there's one of them in the back. Nope. Oh, there's one for reals. And then we have our Amazonian centipedes. And then you get to cross the river here, or you can not. You can come over here. See the first of our. Actually, I think it might be the only primate. Anyway, you get to see our Capuchin monkeys from over here, or you can go across the river get a bit closer to them, and also get to our first little dining area. Yeah, so our capuchins have a nice large area to run around and climb and all that. Then coming over here, you get to another area that was actually a lot of fun to make. We've got this raised area here with our jaguars. Ooh, one of them swimming. Nice. And then, in addition to them, right across from them, you have another habitat, our Cuvier's dwarf caiman. This area is actually fed by that same river. So this is actually a nice big I don't know if you'd really call it a lake, but at least a big pond for those animals to enjoy. And then you come over here past the jaguars, and you've got our giant anteaters. And on the other side from them, we've got our Galapagos giant tortoises. One thing that's interesting about this zoo is that it's kind of mostly linear. There's a couple different places you can go once you're past the South American area, per se, but for the most part, it's a fairly simple path to go around this zoo. Here we've got our other two buildings with exhibit animals. So we've got our tarantulas, another tarantula. We have far too many tarantulas in this zoo. Hey, golden poison dart frog. Another giant spider in here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Right there on the window. Then we've got another spider somewhere in here. I think this is the red knee tarantula, though I might be wrong about that. I'm probably wrong about that. Over here we've got our green iguanas. And lady, I know you were trying to point at it, but you missed it. It's right there. Over here are lesser Antillean iguanas. And then our Lehman's poison arrow frogs. Coming around from there, we have this nice little sculpture here. And then, yeah, we'll go this way first. This is probably the most extensive area for viewing in any single habitat, other than there is one more that's close, but I think this one technically has the most viewing area for one single habitat, and that is, of course, you probably guessed by our statues, but this is our Amazon giant river otters, which are not swimming right now. There's one up there. So from here you can also go around the entire habitat and theoretically see them. Oh, hey, there is one swimming now that we're not. Then there's our other one here, and this one's a really fun habitat. I spent a lot of time on this one, and the first thing I wanted to do was make sure guests could see it from essentially all around. And when I built it, I forgot to think about where the keepers were going to get in. So I had to excavate this area over here. But I think it worked out nicely because it's a good shelter, and also it's a nice little kind of hidden away entrance for the staff that the guests can't really see. Um, but my favorite part of this one, oh hey, there's a baby that's swimming right through the lily pad. But my favorite piece of this exhibit is probably down here. We've got this, nice little landscape here. The guests can see in and down wherever the otters are swimming, but the otters can go right up through here or down through that little cave and pool there. So the guests have a lot of fun things they can do. Then over here we've got our over here we have our Cliffside Dining, which you can see. There's kind of a mock-up I made of with that river of Angel Falls. But yeah, so we've got our nice cliffside dining area here, so you can get a nice view of the surrounding mountains and the Amazon out there. And then now we got to go all the way the other direction. But yeah, so this is this is a nice little area that I spent a lot of time on. So, and I think it was totally worth it. And then also moving along, we've got these nice big planters. I think those were pretty worth it too, with all the plants that I got in on them and how nice they look. At least I think they look nice anyway. And then finally we get over here. This is one of the last animals I needed. So we've got this nice little descent here into the frozen south, as it were, for our king penguins. Then there's this nice viewing area here. And then we can go out here. People were complaining about being thirsty, so I gave them something. But we've also got another little area you can view them from here if you want. It's a nice little platform over their swimming area. And then finally you can just kind of follow this trail down here and get a view underwater. Might change the color of the water, but for now it's good. So this is the far end of the park. Then you can go up here to our Australian area. And so here we've got our koalas. And they're both climbing that tree. Let's see. We've got across from them the southern cassowaries in their habitat, and hello, they've had some chicks. We've got our 4 Australian animals, or exhibit animals, the blue-tongued lizard, the common death adder, giant burrowing cockroach, and finally we got our eastern brown snakes in over here. Then we've got our other little dining area over here. I liked this dining area. It's different from any of the others that I've built. But I like this one for... It seems a little strange, but I like it, so... The only thing I don't like about it is that it's set up with the gridded pathways, and so you get guests that will just stand there forever like that. Then over here we've got our dingoes. We've got a big area to run around in. There's only a couple of them right now, but eventually we'll have a much larger pack. At least that's the overall idea for the zoo. Oh, hey, there. Well, that's a glitch. We apparently have a headless dingo. Okay. That's new. That wasn't there last time I was here. And then finally we've got our red kangaroos. Now, this is... I mentioned I'd show the second entrance the next time I got up here. So this is our second entrance area. It's a bit wider, just to accommodate more guests, because it seemed like the number of guests was kind of being really restricted by the size of the paths. So I built this area up here, and from this side, I probably should put some doors on this side, but I haven't. But from this side, we've got our doors at least. And then, how do you get up here? Probably by a helicopter, because that's the only way I can figure out you're going to get up here to either entrance. But that being said, there it is, my Amazon zoo. It's I think a lot smaller than the last one, but there's definitely a few places around this zoo that I really enjoy. Particularly the waterfalls and the giant otter habitat. But yeah, so coming up, I'm going to be starting to do a build on Sandbox mode probably. And so that'll be interesting, and I'll be able to take a lot more time and not worry about money through the playthrough on that. I remember, I think the waterfalls cost something like $100,000. And that was something that I built when it was still fairly early in the game, so that took a lot of money. And made it so I had to wait a while on expanding the zoo any further. But yeah, so that's the zoo. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.